are occasionally confused with ground scraper thrush. I'll just show you. Let me show you the ground scraper thrush quickly, just to show you how similar they are. I'm sure you got a lovely view of that one there, of the of the dusky lark. But let's just ground scraper thrush. There we go. There you see, as I said, the marking on the body itself. Very similar if you look quickly. They've also got the marking around the face, the dark marking, the streaking down the body, but much longer beak with a bit of orange in it, and then also the orange legs, the longer legs. But you see how similar they look. Even at that view over there, that bird looks almost identical to that dusky lark. Well, that's my excuse anyway. But it's always good to check, and it's nice to see the dusky lark. I haven't seen a dusky lark for a very long time, so it is wonderful. All right, I think let's carry on. Beautiful sunset this afternoon. I think we're going to have a beautiful sunset. Oh. Sorry, Craig, were you showing us the sunset there? We'll try and see if we can find a nice little spot where we can really enjoy it and appreciate it. I hope you're all enjoying this afternoon with us. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's been great. There's some elephant being seen, the lions. Temperature's cooling down now, which is great. As I said, I'm giving the other guys a chance to go and view those lions. There are a lot of guests around in these areas at the moment, so hopefully they all get to see them. But secretly, I'm hoping that they go and see them and decide they're not going to do anything and move off, because I think those lions will wake up and possibly head to the water. So I'm hoping I can head into that area a little bit later and maybe get them drinking. Let's see, I'm holding thumbs. Let's head back to Taylor, who's got something in the water to show you.
It's pretty much the only thing out here at the moment. It is a crocodile, and you'll probably hear a wonderful sound in the background. It is the sound of a weed eater, as the gardens are being tended to here at Chitwa Dam. But unfortunately, with all that ruckus, I think the hippos have become quite startled, and they've moved all the way to the middle. But this is pretty amazing. At least the crocodile is around for us. Now, I'm not sure if it is Vladimir or if it is Boris. It doesn't look particularly big at this angle just yet, but perhaps if it comes out of the water a little bit more, it might change my mind. It looks like it might be on a bank, a shallow bank of some sort. It looks like it was pushing up a little bit. And that area that it's in it's actually underneath the little fence that they've put around the lodge to try and keep elephants out. It doesn't really keep, well, the hippos out because they can go underneath that, and it most certainly doesn't keep the crocodiles out. You can see it just there. And it's flooded, so it's not normally this full. But because of all the rains that we've had, which is really quite wonderful, and we're definitely not complaining about all the rain, is that it has flooded that little grassland area, and, well, it's making the perfect spot for a crocodile to hang around on. Lots of weaver nests, and there's even a couple of Waterbuck and a Nyala just up above where that crocodile is, utilizing the nice, and when I say safe, I put that in inverted commas, area there to graze on. And even though being close to the lodge, it doesn't mean that you're safe. I've seen many lions and leopards, actually probably more lions and leopards in the Sabi Sands around the lodges than anything. And it must be quite difficult now because you've got the wind blowing, we've got the sound of the weed eater, so that must really be playing with those animals' senses in terms of their hearing. So they'll have to rely on their sense of smell and their eyesight. And a couple of Nyala are now coming out into the open too in that lovely golden light. It is really beautiful out here. And who knows, maybe a hippo decides to come out from the middle and move closer towards the bank so we can see them. I think that's the only critique you can give this dam at the moment, is the fact that the water is so high here that it does make viewing the hippopotamus sometimes a little bit less water in the dam. There were many more shallow spots for the hippos to go to. Isn't that beautiful, all those in Nyala? All coming together. Young ones. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Flapping their ears, swishing their tails. There must be quite a few little biting flies. Oh, how's that little tiny one sneaking out between the rest of the females? And this is perfect area for leopard to hunt. And I know Tingana spends quite a large amount of time around the lodge. So I'm sure he feasts on these in Nyala, and as well as some of those young waterbuck at every opportunity that he gets. Happy Crocodile. Now speaking, and seeing as though we just saw that crocodile, you were wondering if a crocodile could kill an adult lion. They can indeed. I think Brent has actually seen a sighting like that before at one of the previous areas he has guided in. Well, I think it was in the Sabi Sands actually, and he actually witnessed something like that. So crocodiles are very much opportunistic. They will eat anything. They will eat birds. They will eat other predators. They will catch waterbuck. They will catch Nyala. Literally anything that they can, they will eat. But particularly in this area, and actually the thing that crocodiles feed on most is fish. Catfish, big tilapia, vundu, depending on the type of fish that you get in that area, they will feed upon. And the only thing that they do is obviously when you have those massive migrations crossing the massive river channels, then there's definitely an opportunity, almost an easier opportunity to try and catch a mammal crossing, a zebra, a wildebeest, a buffalo, whatever it may be. And then there's big fights between the crocodiles over the carcasses. Now, Reese, you're wondering how do crocodiles mark their territorial boundaries? That's a very good question. I'm trying to think now. I don't know if crocodiles are very much territorial. I'm sure they have their spots, but every time I've ever seen a crocodile, I've never just seen one. And when you go to Zambia, you see them lined up on the banks. So this area is probably the best area we've got in the northern Sabi Sands to see crocodiles, is here at Chitwa Dam. And then you go down towards the Sabi and the Sand River, where they're very much prominent. And again, down there, you don't just see one, you see crocodiles of various sizes sitting on the banks. And I'm sure that those smaller crocodiles are careful and sort of watch what they do around the larger crocs. Because remember, these big Nile crocs can get in excess of 5 meters, and they can weigh close to a ton. So they can really, really get massive. And something that large will be particularly old. And not many things will want to mess with something of that size, except maybe a hippopotamus. A big hippo bull, I think, would challenge a massive croc any day of the week. Just wriggling around. They've got the most gorgeous eyes, though. I really, really love that sort of yellowish green color that you see on their eyes. I don't know if this is Vladimir. I think that this could be Boris. I don't know if it's the big one. It doesn't look particularly large. And we've had some great sightings of the bigger croc that lives here at Chitwa Dam. I've actually only ever seen 2 crocs here. I don't think I've seen any more than that. But there could be some young ones laying about. You never really know what's hiding in the reeds. We could mistaken them very easily for terrapins. Chandra, please can I show everybody how gorgeous the sunset is? Just want to show you one last thing. Have a look at how beautiful this is. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Now I'm just going to sit quietly because the weed eater has now stopped, so I want you to listen to all the birds that are chatting. Buffalo weavers, a variety of different weaver species, some Egyptian geese, babblers. They're all chatting this afternoon. Isn't that lovely? I think we're going to have a really nice sunset tonight. Perhaps we'll try and edge to a spot that's a little bit higher up with not so many trees in the background. And hopefully we'll get to see some beautiful colors this evening. But as it's starting to get a little bit darker now, let's go back across to Steph, and we'll make sure that he's on his way closer to home.
We are a little bit closer to home, but I must be honest to you that we are aimlessly wandering around over here in the bush looking for a game path so we can cross the huge drainage line, which is like a valley, safely between where we are standing now and quarantine clearings. Now, quarantine clearings is by that massive tree, not this first one that you see here, that's big knobthorn. We're quickly going to be sending you over to Taylor. She's got something exciting to show you.
Look what we've got. Jandre spotted it just on the other side of the car, and it's actually walking right past us. It is a water monitor. Isn't this beautiful? We've been seeing a lot of rock monitors lately. This could be one of the... Well, I think I've seen a water monitor here before, but I prefer them. Out of the two, they're my favorite. They don't quite look as prehistoric as a rock monitor does. A rock monitor is a little bit more robust, a much squarer head. Trying to see where it's going. I'm going to stand up very quickly. Oh my goodness, it's literally right in front of my car. I don't think I've ever had a water monitor sneak right past me like this. Let's see if it's going to pop out. And it's not a massive one. I've seen bigger. There it is. I've seen bigger. So it's still quite young, probably only a couple of years old. They can get in excess of 1 meter. This one is probably about half a meter, maybe slightly less than that. And you can see how it's dragging its tail in the sand. So now you can see perfectly how it creates that track. Claws on either side of its body with a long line between the 4 footprints. That's amazing. I don't know why it's so relaxed. Perhaps because it's been living around the lodge and it's used to seeing tractors and people and all sorts of things. There's an Egyptian goose keeping a close eye on it as well. Though I don't think it would be too panicked, because a water monitor of that size would not be able to take an adult Egyptian goose. Need to be a little bit bigger, but if there were some Egyptian goose chicks around here, or perhaps a little 3-banded plover, something along those lines, they would have to be careful, because these guys like to eat things like that. They'll eat eggs, they'll dig up the crocodile eggs. That's actually one of the biggest threats to crocodile eggs and nests are water monitors and rock monitors. Finding them, digging into the ground. They're very well adapted to digging with those big claws, and then they will scoop up the eggs and eat them. But good luck to the monitor if it is caught by a female crocodile, because they do guard their nests, not necessarily on top of them all the time, but within a couple of meters. And that's what it could maybe be doing, is scouting through these areas looking for a spot perhaps where a nest could have been dug. Isn't this cool? Now, Laurie, you're wondering why they call these things monitor lizards. So in South Africa, we actually call them a leguavan, is another name for them. And I suppose you could say that they're cousins of the Komodo dragons. Not quite exactly the same, much smaller, of course. I'm not sure where they get the monitor part to their name. I'll have to do a bit of, I think, searching on the interweb to see. But you call what is the other? My goodness, I'm tangled again. But this is a Nile monitor lizard. That's the real name. Look at the way it moves. It's really so prehistoric, the way that they sort of crawl over things very slowly. Actually, they're not very slow. If you've ever seen one at full tilt coming out of the water or darting down a bank into the water, they've actually got some power behind them. The Egyptian goose didn't even alarm once. It did watch it though, until it's disappearing. We'll see if we can get another view of it. Let's see if we can get down the side of this bank. This is very cool. We'll have one last look at it. The Egyptian goose is running away from us, but just down here again is the monitor lizard slinking around. And isn't this, I think this must be the most obliging water monitor I've ever seen in my entire life. Not only are they able to handle themselves over the rocky terrain, but as soon as they get into the water as well, that tail they can use really, really well to propel themselves through the water. But I think that's the last view we're going to get of this guy, but how amazing was that? So as soon as I stole you away from Steph, let's go back across to him and see what he was going to show you.
Very, very nice of Taylor to find you that water monitor. They're always quite special to see. Well, we managed to find the game path we were looking for in the interim. This is it. This is a highway, believe it or not, in the dry season. Right now, it's just this overgrown pathway, but I'm quite glad that we found it because it does lead from one area to another. In this particular case, it leads from a series of pans that are over there to quarantine clearings, which are behind you at the moment, which I'll show you now, as soon as we get past where you're sitting at the moment. So it's just a nice pathway to use. We use from time to time, and you can see how it just makes wafting through the bush much easier, because this time of the year, you really, to get through this, you've got to be lifting your legs, and it's an energy sapping way of going about things. Much easier if you just walk on these game paths. But this time of the evening, you have to watch out for animals, in particular buffalo, that are using these game paths coming to and from watering points like that. So what you don't want to do is approach these things too quietly, not this time of the evening, and you want to keep your ears opening for any telltale splashes. Buffalo would have spent the majority of the heat of the day on a day like this tucked up in these pans, and then they come up out of these pans to eat grass in the middle of the night, and they come from these things. So always a good idea to look and listen before you approach anything like this, particularly when you're going down, and that leaves escape routes, less escape routes. So there's only an egress and an ingress point, and that's it. So you don't want to be down there and then all of a sudden a buffalo comes charging out at you. There's going to be hair raising. The little hair that I have left on my head will stand on end. Now, we are going to be needing to go through here right now, so I'm going to hand you over to Byron. We're going to make our way out there, and we'll probably catch up with you again on quarantine.
Well, welcome back everyone, and I've just been driving around and did a bit of a loop through the thicker areas to see if we could find anything. Unfortunately, nothing just yet. There's a lot of impala and that around the airstrip. They're all probably starting to move out for the evening, where they'll be a lot safer out in the clearing. Let's see, maybe there might be something else that's heading out into the open now. So let's see what we can find. For the moment, just loads of impala. Beautiful sunset though. It's disappeared. The sun disappeared very quickly behind the clouds. But if you have a look, there's some clouds with this beautiful color at the moment. Just have a look at that. Yeah, wow, isn't that brilliant? Beautiful light in the sky now. You might be able to hear a Cokie Franklin calling. Always difficult to find. I would guess that now with the long grass it's very difficult to find them. Oh, it's nice. Well, there's a bit of a breeze at the moment. A bit of a cool wind blowing. Let's see, I'd like to find, you know what, wishful thinking, but I am hoping, I'm going to head past that same area we had the honey badgers the other night. Now, I highly doubt they'll be there again, but you never know. So I'm going to head past there a little bit later, and maybe we're lucky and we get a glimpse of some honey badgers again. See, there's a plane on the airstrip over here, so they probably a plane that brought guests in. Sorry Chris, I missed that. Megan, what was that question, the beginning part please? Predators. Predators do hunt at night, Chris. They do indeed. It's not always a guarantee. It's not to say they only hunt at night, though. They will move around and hunt during the day if they have to. They're very opportunistic. However, it's easier for them to hunt at night under the cover of darkness. So you've got to remember that if predators like leopard and lion are ambush predators, it's easier for them to find prey at night. Well, not find, but stalk prey at night, and therefore try and hunt them. But like I said, during the day, I've seen leopards and lions hunt during the day. They're very opportunistic. If there is potential food around, they will try and hunt. But generally, those two species of predator, lion and leopard, would prefer hunting at night, but animals like wild dog and cheetah would hunt during the day. They are diurnal hunters. They prefer hunting during the day. Their eyesight is geared for daytime hunting, and they've got a different hunting strategy. They are not ambush predators. They will move around and hunt animals by using their speed, and the wild dog with their persistence. They'll run down prey. So that's very different to lion and leopard. I'm going to move out of this area of the airstrip now and see what else we can find. It sounds like there are quite a lot of people that are interested in trying to see those lions. They haven't seen them yet. So I don't think we're going to have another chance of viewing them later this evening, unfortunately. But luckily we did get to see them, which is great. We'll try again tomorrow to find some more lions. You never know what we could find while we're driving around. Maybe a leopard pops out somewhere. That would be wonderful. And I think I'm also going to have to try and find at least 1 or 2 chameleons this evening. Taylor's the only one that's been finding chameleons at the moment. It's her youthful eyes. Remember I said that? She's much younger than me. So I think that's her benefit. I'm going to carry on looking around this area and see what else we can find. Speaking of, okay, we were going to link to Taylor, but I think she's going to go through a few dips, so she might not have great signals. So stick with me, see what we can find. I heard some francolin calling. It's funny, at the moment we hear these francolins, we hear the birds, but to find them is very difficult because the grass is so long. Shelley, you were asking, do we experience fall colors on the trees in South Africa? So those autumn colors, we say autumn. I know a lot of the people in the United States say fall. Shelley, give me a second. I just want to move out the way of this other vehicle. Wouldn't be great to drive into them now, would it? So Shelley, we do indeed experience fall colors in winter. I'll just say hi everyone. We're going. So we do indeed experience fall colors. Beautiful orange and brown and like a rusty red, I suppose. Can you describe it? Yeah, definitely rusty red. That's a great color, I'd say. But yeah, beautiful colors on the leaves in autumn, and pretty soon we'll start seeing those colors coming through. So we do see them. Alright, so now I think Taylor's in a better signal area. Let's head over to her, as Megan calls her, the chameleon hunter. And she has been very good at finding chameleons.
Don't know how great of a chameleon hunter I'm going to be when it's not dark. And I'm on, just in case you were wondering what the tally is with how many insects I've caught with my eyes this afternoon, I'm on about 5. Could be a new record today. Not a record that I'd like to, keep increasing. But yes, so we need to get a chameleon or 2 that I can put on my shoulders and on my head so that they can snatch up the flies before they get into my eyes. We've just come along Leadwood. I haven't driven down here for a very long time, or a couple of days at least. So I thought that we would start this way, maybe head towards, baby scrub hare. Let me see if I can get a view of it again. It was very skittish. Just ran in over here somewhere now. It will be completely invisible to our eyes, hiding in this long grass. It went in somewhere here. I think it actually may have already ducked. Oh, that was so quick. It was a tiny little scrub here, probably about this big. But really, really quite little. Not as big as, of course, the adult skate. And I think it just sat there hoping that we didn't see it. And then at the last minute it dashed, which caught, well, my eyes. Hello, Impala. Big Impala ran. Off he goes, not hanging around. Doesn't surprise me though. In this light, everybody's going to start to get a little bit uneasy with the cars now. But at least the wind has dropped slightly, which is really good. That wasn't very pleasant on Cheetah Plains out in the open. There was a herd of wildebeest that were about a couple of 100 meters on Mala, but other than that, there really wasn't anything out that way, besides that young elephant bull. There were many elephant tracks down that side, but I think because of the wind they were all just feeding in between the massive blocks. And as you know, there aren't roads everywhere. We can only drive on a small percentage of the land, which is good. I think that that's a great thing that we aren't able to drive everywhere. Otherwise you just start ruining the vegetation, and then there's no food left for any of the animals to eat. Who are we going to find along here? This is good Karula area. She likes it around Leadwood, Mamba. And this is actually the last road that I saw her on too, but since then I have not seen any more tracks. Who knows, tonight may be the night. Imagine if we find a chameleon now, I'll be so excited. It's not impossible, but I think you've got to stop and keep searching in the trees to be able to see something like that. Now, as you, the light has faded quite a substantial amount, and I think it's time for Steph to say goodbye to all of you on Bushwalk, and I think that's indeed what he is waiting for, so let's jump on board with him.
It is, that shot that you had over there is the marula tree that we're busy hiding under at the moment to have a look at the approaching night. Let's be honest with you, I've been gone for a little bit, and the amount of difference between how much time we had at the end of a walk last time I was on foot, with 10 days or so ago, to today is significant. I would say a good minutes later the sun has set, so yeah, catching me out of unawares. But our camp is fairly close. There you can see the roof of where you coming to us from. Basically, it's where we send our signal to, and where you coming to us from. And it is time of the evening to say goodbye, so that's exactly what I'm going to do at this particular point. I'm going to be saying goodbye. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning for Bushwalk, at least again, tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. And I'll see you again. I'm looking forward to go for a morning walk over here and see what's changed in the last week or two. Anyway, from VM and myself and Rexon, have a good night wherever you are.
So Steph is heading back to camp now. Oh, that was close. You see how quick those reflexes are, Craig. Can't teach that. Even Batman was impressed with that. There's a little bug that just flew straight towards me. Now I'm heading back on to Djuma and into that area where I saw those honey badgers the other day. Just, you never know. It could happen, it could happen. Well, we're either going to find them or a pangolin. That's that's what I think. What do you think, Craig? So let's see. The temperature has dropped quite a bit. It's a lovely evening though. I love these cool evenings and moving into the winter. April, May, I must be honest, April, May for me are wonderful times in the bush. So we're getting very close to that now. The temperature starts cooling down. The days are still lovely, but the evenings and mornings are crisp and cool. So it's very, very nice. And you sleep a lot better at night too when it's cooler. Not that heat of summer that It's very difficult to sleep in out here unless you're in an air-conditioned room or a nice open room, fanned room. Something was biting me. So Ruby in the sun, these grasses will stay here for quite some time and feed a lot of the animals. It's only towards the end of winter, probably. The grass level starts dropping quite a bit in winter, but grasses will always be here until about, I'd suppose, August, September. You start seeing a drastic drop in the grasses around. But there'll always be some grass around for the animals. It's just probably not as nutritious as it is at the moment, because of all the rain we've had and this thick green grass that we've got. So then the animals start feeding on other plant life, like the elephants, for example, will start feeding on trees a lot more as opposed to the grasses. Now this is that area that we had those honey badgers in the other day. I wonder if they're still around. They've possibly got a den somewhere. Let's see what we can find. I found some guests having drinks. Oh dear. I wonder if we should just join them. I wonder where Taylor is at the moment. Where the ladies in the FC are. So let's head back to Taylor quickly for an update and see what she's up to.
Sadly, no spotted cat. I was hoping by the time you came back to me we would have had a leopard of some sort, but unfortunately, as ambitious as what Byron is feeling about, I'm not sure what he's going to think, what he's going to find. We, on the other hand, feeling a little bit sad that there are no leopards around at the moment. And we searched on Cheetah Plains as well, and there was just no sign. The only tracks we had were a couple of hyena tracks. But other than that, it's very, very quiet. And I wonder when Shongile and Hosana are going to come back this side. I know that the twin dams definitely being missed. Those terrapins are probably a little bit sad that they aren't being chased around as much now. Same goes for the Egyptian geese and all the three-banded plovers and the rest of the bird life that was tormented by those two. But who knows? I think we're almost ready to put a spotlight on. Not just yet, but almost. In another 10 minutes or so. I think it will work quite well. Where are we going to go from here? I think we'll go along Central. And hopefully we find some things along that way. And then perhaps go past Woodland Dam. And who knows? I don't know if tonight's a good chameleon night. It's actually quite chilly. Like I said, I'm going to have to put a jersey on soon. And we know that we don't see as many chameleons when it's a bit chilly. They tend to stay in sort of the denser vegetation where the leaves and things will provide a bit of protection from the cold wind. That's actually what's cold at the moment. Is it's not necessarily the temperature again, it's just the chill factor in the wind, which is only going to get more and more as we head into winter, which I'm excited about. I cannot wait for this grass to start dying down so we can actually see the animals that are more than 20 meters off the side of the road. It will make spotting cats a lot easier. Nothing there. Let's see, these trees are really good though for leopards. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Karula in these marulas. Karula in these marulas. That could be the name of a new song. I'll have to sit and write one. Hey. Chandra, anywhere that you'd like to check? Chandra says maybe we can go towards Buffelshoek Dam. Maybe we'll do that first. We'll go up towards Buffelshoek maybe via Quarry Pan, one of these roads, and then we'll loop back down Hyena Road, jump onto Central, and then go check out Vuyatela as one of the last stops for the evening. Who knows? Who knows what could be around the next corner? There's been quite a bit of lion activity on Buffels Hook, so at any moment, it sounds like there were some Birmingham boys that side. They could get on the move, especially because it is so cool, and come back down this way. That's definitely a possibility. It's a pity that it isn't warm, because I would have liked to have completed my chameleon challenge today, to set a new one for myself. That I think will be my goal, is before I go and leave, I want to show you all at least 4 chameleons in one drive. Let's hope tomorrow morning the clouds there's a couple of clouds coming over. We might get some clouds in the morning, which will be great, which will mean that it'll be nice and warm. There's some big ones building up over to the left, and then there's a couple of smaller ones behind us, but those are beautiful clouds. But sadly, not enough clouds to do any cloud watching this evening, which is a pity, because that's one of my favorite things to do of all when you're out in the bush. Just lay flat on your back, stare up at the clouds, or even just staring up at the stars and seeing beautiful things. We actually do that almost every night here. As after we've had dinner, we'll go and sit outside in one of the vehicles, park it underneath the stars, and just sort of watch and see how many shooting stars we can spot for the evening. Now there's very fresh elephant dung and urine on the roads. Where are you guys? Go away. I need to turn these lights off for now. I don't think they're very far. Let's see. But there's just elephants everywhere at the moment. Maybe we can do elephant infrared if we find some. Who knows? Right. Come on, chameleons. James, thank you so much for your little research that you did, educating all of us. So you've said that there was a question earlier about where does the word monitor come from, for monitor lizard. And James did a bit of research. He said that it comes from the fact that monitor lizards sometimes stand on their back legs and sort of survey the area. Now, I've actually never seen that behavior before. That's really interesting. I don't think I've even read about that before, which is really cool. So that's something to add to the wish list. I think that it'd be quite impressive to see a monitor standing on his back legs on a fallen log and looking around. And perhaps they do it mainly at this time of the year, in the summer months, sort of like we're seeing with the squirrels and the dwarf mongoose and all those animals, because it is so thick and it's very difficult to see above the grass. Remember that amazing sighting we had with the rock monitor and Kuchava, as she decided to sort of chase it about a bit, and then eventually she ended up with a tail to her face, and she thought that she better be leaving that animal alone. It doesn't quite want to be eaten today. I love it when the smaller animals fight back. It's always quite wonderful. Oh no, Byron has already started his nonsense this evening, and he's obviously now issuing me a challenge by rubbing it in my face and finding the first chameleon.
Yo, Taylor, I found the first chameleon for tonight. I'm so happy. Well, actually, you know what? It doesn't count because you're about 3-1 ahead. But look at that. He's facing us. And look at those eyes moving around individually there. The flap-necked chameleon. Great, finally. Sure, I thought I was losing my touch there for a second. I'd like to think it was a very, very difficult spot. Hey, look at that. Yeah, there we go. See how far it is? Thanks, Craig. Just helping me out a little bit here. So it's so nice to see first chameleon for tonight. Let's see if we can't find some more and some others. I'd like to see if I can't find one or two. Laura, no, Magic School Bus. I can't remember that. I'm trying to think. No, wait, I do remember Magic School Bus. It was a kids show, wasn't it? And you said, wasn't there a chameleon as a sidekick on Magic School Bus? I can't remember. I really can't remember. I'm not sure. See if anyone else remembers. It was a long time ago since I watched Magic School Bus. Craig, do you watch Magic School Bus? Did you ever? Do you know about it?
I can't remember.
You can't remember. Oh dear. Oh dear. Craig's also part of the younger generation. In my day, we used to have to walk to school barefoot. Let's see if I can't find a little scorpion sticking out somewhere. Would be nice. There are still a lot of insects around. The temperature is still warm enough, so there should be some scorpion activity. But it's not always easy to spot them at night while you're driving with a spotlight, so I'm going to try my best. See if we can't find some more chameleons too. And, of course, a leopard. Leopard in the evening walking along the road. That would be great. It's great having Steph back. Back in camp. I'm just thinking of speaking about walking around and Steph doing his bushwalk, which he loves so much, and we all enjoy it too. He's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the little things out in the bush. He's very experienced and knows so much about the little insects and stuff that we do see on those walks. Our very own Bear Grylls. You know what? I think Steph could give Bear Grylls a run for his money. To be honest, we'll have to maybe put that to the test. Lay down the challenge. Steph's probably going to kick me when I arrive back at camp, but nevertheless, let's see. We'll see what we could come up with. What do you all think? You think we should do a grill off between Bear Grylls and Stef Winterboer? It also means that we have to behave a lot more in camp now because Stef is there. It's very, very strict with us. Oh, Taylor's found a chameleon. Taylor, I don't believe it. Let's go and have a look and see her chameleon.
We have one, Byron. The challenge is now on. We're even. 1-1. Not a particularly big one, but again, that beautiful coloration where it's turned the little white stripes that it has on its body to beautiful bronze color. It's really quite lovely. And I'm not sure why it's doing that, but they always seem to do it when the spotlight is on them. I've actually started noticing that over the last few days. So perhaps chameleons are a little bit more sensitive to the light than we actually think. But let's see if we can find some more, seeing as though we've got one. I can also hear some elephants cracking branches just off into the distance to the right of me. Let's see, and this might be a good area for chameleons. Just double check, and of course this takes quite a large amount of concentration when it comes to spotting them. That one I had to double check. I wasn't too certain. It actually just looked like a yellow leaf and wasn't reflecting as nicely as what they normally do. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Buttons Cockatoo said, now I've got 4 chameleons today. I do indeed have 4 chameleons, but I don't know if we can really count it. Just because we've got to get them all in one go. So we'll keep on hunting for them, and hopefully we'll see them. Actually, what I'd like to see this evening, which could be quite nice. What are you? You are bird poo on the leaf. It would be great to see some, not some honey badgers. Honey badgers would be lovely, but I'd prefer to see some bush babies tonight. I don't know, I've noticed that the honey badgers don't seem to be too relaxed around here. And when I was down south, Corsa, we used to often see honey badgers feasting at this time of the evening this crepuscular period, on rhino dung middens. So inside those dung middens there's often a lot of beetle larvae and lots of nice insects for them to eat. And if you just creep up really slowly, don't try and get too close to them. I think the longest I've ever spent with a honey badger, one honey badger, foraging around on a dung midden was about 20 minutes or so, which was really quite incredible. It didn't make for the greatest photography, of course. I was guiding my guests and we were just a little bit too far away to get any decent shots. And honey badgers never sit still. They keep on going. They're always moving, always busy. Then some elephants came through and ended up disturbing the sighting, and the honey badger ran away. It was quite funny because all the little elephants were trumpeting at this honey badger. They didn't quite like the look of it. Well, there was an amazing sighting quite recently. I think it was at Morataba, if I'm not mistaken, of a pride of lions chasing after two honey badgers, which was quite an amazing video to see. I've never seen something like that before. I'd definitely love to see an interaction between lions and honey badgers. That must be amazing. Chandra, have you ever seen that? No, but I'm sure you'd like to film that, eh? That would be really an action-packed sighting.
And I've decided that we've seen enough chameleons for today, so I'm no longer looking for chameleons. Taylor's done very well at finding those chameleons. Gee, it's really not easy. You really need to know what to look for, and I do think you need a trained eye. So it is an art, and it is a bit of a trick. Sean, no, chameleons do not build nests. They don't build nests at all. They just live in the trees and they move around, but they do not build nests. If I'm not mistaken, the chameleons lay their eggs. That's so they'll lay their eggs in the ground. Sorry, that's what I mean. I know they lay eggs, but I think they lay them in the ground. But they live in the trees. They climb up onto the trees, hide in the foliage. What else can we find this evening? Oh dear, get to Rog now. The nocturnal insects are attracted to light. I think it's got something to do with one, the warmth that the light gives off, but the color obviously stands out. The light that is given off, and that attracts the insects. The insects see in different color spectrums, and I think that light attracts the insect. I think that is the main reason. Stand to correction, but I do believe that has got something to do with it. Wow, this grass is so long at the moment. It's difficult to spot anything around here. What is that impala? Not going to shine the light on them. Just check these little water holes around here. Would be nice to see a little owl again. Now, the other day we got to see that beautiful pearl-spotted owl. There are other owls like scops owls and that, and some larger owls too, white-faced scops owl or the white-faced owl. I hear them every morning. I hear those three owls constantly. White-faced owl, the scops owl, and I think there's a bronze-winged courser, and the pearl-spotted owl. I hear them every morning early when we get up. A lot of impala ahead of us. I'm just going to put the lights off so don't harm their eyes. Just use the spotlights on this side. There are plenty impala around here. I'm just going to turn the spotlight off. It's a nice clearing, and that's why there's so many impala around us at the moment. So let's give them a chance to move off. Let's head back to Taylor quickly for an update and see how her search for... What is she looking for now, actually? Let's go find out.
We actually just had a pearl-spotted owlet, but it darted away from us so quickly and it landed in a big knobthorn, but that knobthorn is so filled with foliage at the moment, it was almost impossible to see it, but who knows? We may get another one, but no more chameleons just yet. Possibly in the next few seconds, you never know. This road is very much overgrown now. Goodness gracious. Let's see what we have around here. This is such good area. But again, I think with the chillier weather, I might actually have to change my sort of areas that I'm looking for these chameleons and sort of look further down on the base of the tree rather than just the overhanging branches. Let's go into first gear. I'm also still searching, of course, for the bush babies, but no luck just yet. Haven't seen any eyes glowing in the distance or any cats really. I still would like to see a Varro's eagle owl. It would be great. Or a spotted eagle. Not a Varro's eagle, a Varro's. My goodness. Spotted eagle owl I'd like to see this evening. Or I'll just throw this one out there. What about a barn owl? Now, we don't see very many barn owls in this area. I've only ever seen one down in the south. We saw lots in Zambia and then lots down in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. They're also quite prominent around there. I haven't actually seen too many owl species up yet, but nice to see the smaller ones, the owlets. Now, Andrew, you're wondering if we have any ground-dwelling owls over here. I don't know. Don't know if I've ever seen a grass owl up here before. They typically live on the floor. I've seen them down in the Eastern Cape again, but you could potentially see them around here, maybe around Cheetah Plains. But again, not very common. But that's a species that predominantly lives down in the long grass, a grass owl. They're quite pretty, actually. We'll see if we'll get a photo in a minute. Just when I get towards Buffelshoek Dam, we're not too far from there. My goodness, what that little branch I just drove over, I've just kicked up so many insects. I think I need to get echolocation like the bats, and then I can just close my eyes and Jandre can spot animals for me, and I can just make sure that oh, there's an elephant. Hi, elephant. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I know it's nighttime. We're going to switch to IR now. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Infrared. Here we come. There we go. Let me turn the light off. And you should see this is a youngish elephant who wasn't particularly happy. And I think the rest of the herd is actually just down off into the drainage, just past it. Yes, yes. You're trying to make yourself look big and scary. Ears open, trunk up, smelling us, trumpeting. I'm not too concerned, though. Just making a lot of noise, trying to intimidate us. And I think it's realized that it's not really working. So it's going to carry on and continue moving into the thicket where the rest of the elephants are. Maybe they're going to pop out at Buffelshoek Dam. Or they could be on in Nyala Road North too. They seem to be moving in that direction, and we're not too far away either. But even the infrared can't help us when the animals go behind the trees. I'm going to keep tabs on it. We can't see where it's going now. It's throwing grass at us, I think. No spotlight, please work. Just checking. Coming back again. Just at the corner, there we go. You can see him now. It's wearing a hat. A lovely woven grass hat for this evening. Maybe there's a ball on of some sort. You've got grass everywhere, don't you? Yes. I know you're not happy with us, but just relax. Again, with younger animals, they need to also learn about the vehicles. They can't dominate us. But there we go. Completely relaxed now and walking away. There's definitely a whole herd. It actually sounds like there's quite a few of them in this thicket. Okay, I'm also just trying to get my spotlight to work. There we go. Now it's working again. We search for chameleons quickly while we sit here. Nope. Nothing just yet. Should we carry on and see what's up ahead? I think so. Maybe we'll get the rest of the herd just around the corner, because this road does do quite a bit of curving and bending. So we're going to turn the IR off now. And just so that we can, of course, I can see where we're going. There we go. Now, hello Donna, you're wondering how cool does it get here at night? Up here will be slightly different to the temperatures down south. Down south there are lots of big river systems and valleys and things. And so I think it gets a bit colder down here, down the southern sector of the Sabi Sands. I would say most mornings we're in the middle of winter, so starting from June, you're looking at anywhere between, and I won't be able to do Fahrenheit, so I'm afraid you'll have to work that one out. But it's normally between about 5 and 10 degrees Celsius. That'll be a really cold morning, somewhere around there. And then the day warms up pretty quickly. And during the middle of the day, it's beautiful. It's normally been between about 18 and 25 degrees Celsius. So you can still wear shorts and a t-shirt, even dip in your pool if you're feeling bad. But it's really, really, really quite nice. Oh no, Byron gave up on searching for chameleons, but it seems as though he's found the right technique and he's spotted another one.
I have indeed, Taylor. I said I wasn't going to try and find another one, but we did. Maybe that's the trick. You can just see the tail curled around those leaves there, that prehensile tail, which basically means it's able to hold on to branches and leaves with that tail, and it's hiding over there. Another flap-neck chameleon. Yay. Old codger, I don't know. I have no idea. So your question was, what we've got binocular vision. What vision do the chameleons have? Now I don't know. Because they are able to have a full 360-degree view of what is around them. So I'm not sure exactly what it is that type of vision is called, the ability to rotate eyes. Now I'd like to show you something else that I've just seen. So I'm just trying to look for the right spot actually. So I'm not sure. It must be well, it can't be binocular because, yeah, I don't know. If anybody else knows, please let me know. I'm not sure. I don't know what it's called. I wanted to try find a nice little backdrop for us, but I can't seem to find one now. But I can just find you the moon, which I wanted to show you. It's a beautiful sliver at the moment. Look at that. And this is perfect. We can look at the moon and just listen to the sounds around us at the moment. A fiery-necked nightjar is calling around us. Wonderful, wonderful sound. Probably one of my favorite sounds of the bush. But look at that skyline. It really is wonderful. That sliver of a new moon. It's so it is called because it's just starting out. So it is what we call waxing. That means the moon is getting bigger. We will start to see more of the moon. I hope I'm right, it's not the other way around. I don't think it's getting smaller at the moment. No, I think it is waxing. So, regardless, when the moon is getting bigger, when we're starting to see more of it, it's called waxing. And when we're starting to see less of the moon, so once full moon has passed and we start seeing less of the moon, it is called waning, a waning moon. Ah, nice. Alright, let's head back to Taylor and see if her hunt for owls is going well. Oh dear, it sounds like Taylor's signal's just dropped a little bit, so he's still with us. That's okay, we'll see what we can find for you. I'm still in these little clearings. Now, I'm hoping that animals come out to these little open areas. You sometimes get animals coming to look for food, maybe white-tailed mongoose, maybe something like a civet or a genet perhaps. Wouldn't that be great? So let's see, or maybe we're able to find some bush babies. Okay, so Kathy, you say the chameleons have something called panoramic sight. That's interesting. I suppose it makes sense. The panoramic view, they're able to see all around them. Okay, so it's called panoramic sight. That's interesting. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for that. Alright, it sounds like Taylor's got some signal now. Let's go over to her.
We do. Sorry, we just went through a little bumpy spot there, but we're back. Our search for owls, unfortunately, is not going very well, as is our search for chameleons this evening. They're proving to be a little bit harder to find than what they've normally been. It's always good to have a challenge. Everything in life can't be too easy, I suppose. That's alright. I'm okay with that. I don't know, I think Byron's on the money tonight with the chameleons. He's got all the luck. Now, Rainbow, who is only 3 years old, you were wondering about the elephants that we just saw a moment ago, and you were wondering how far can an elephant walk. Well, Rainbow, it depends on the size of the elephant, also on food availability, and if there's enough water around. So if there's not a lot of water and there's not a lot of food, then you'll find that those animals are going to have to move a lot further every single day to make sure that they eat enough. Because remember, elephants have to eat lots and lots and lots every single day. They need to eat for about 19 hours a day. So they've got to eat a fair amount. And if there's no grass, and if there's no leaves or nothing for them to dig out of the ground, there's no point in them staying in that area, so they will get a move on and keep going. So I reckon in this area at this time of the year, the elephants, if they needed to, let's go. At the moment, I think they're probably only moving maybe 10 or 20 kilometers in a day, if even that, just because there's so much food around them. So they spend quite a bit of time just feeding along the roads. But when you get to the drier seasons, no, there goes my spotlight. No, just got a little shake and then it starts to work again. And then I'd say as you get to the drier season, so coming into winter, which we're coming into now, you might find that they could walk even further than that, maybe 50 kilometers very easily. But most of the animals can actually travel long distances. It's really quite impressive how they're able to move so far away in such a short space of time. And I think lions and leopards on territorial patrols are very, very good at doing that. I think they're actually the best examples. No, I think I need to do what Byron did and give up on the search for chameleons, and then maybe they'll just start popping out in front of me. It's always when you're not looking for something that it will just pop up. And this is my go-to spot for bush babies too, but they're not here this evening. My goodness, it's got very dark all of a sudden. Now, let's have a quick look at this dam and see if there's anything here. Now, Brian from Toronto, put this light on quickly. Yes, that's a bit better. You were wondering if we've got enough water to last us through the dry season. I think so. I think the water table is so high now. You just scan along the edge here. And is that a frog over there?
Come to us. Alright, so Taylor's struggling with signal again. Wendy's been behaving really badly. We haven't had much luck with I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think the leaves or the weather or the vehicle. the joys of being in the African bush and trying to bring you a live safari. It's not always easy, but it will get fixed, and it definitely, we do know about it. Okay, come on, Craig, let's find a... What do you want to see? Let's... A civet. A civet would be good. You took too long there, Craig, so I answered for you. Lionheart Lightworks and Aardvark. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. And that would be wonderful, in fact. I mean, imagine finding an aardvark on Safari Live. I'm sure all of you would be as excited as I would be. And I would never say, well, there's no chance of that, because they do occur out here. So they are here, we just need to find them. But I would think that we'd probably have a better chance at in winter when it's much cooler, and then later in the evenings. Judging by the aardvark activity I have been fortunate to see quite a few aardvark in the Kalahari though. Alright, but let's head back to Taylor now. Her signal's back, let's see where she is.
Look at this massive bark spider. This is the biggest bark spider I've ever seen in my entire life. It is huge, and I really want to stand up, but it's now, so I can show you how big it is. But it is going along its little wire. Look at that little line. Now it's going out of view. Let me go back quickly. You can see it's going up quickly. We'll reverse, and then we'll be able to readjust the camera again. There we go. That should be all right. But that is absolutely incredible. It was obviously dropped a line from the marula tree down onto the ground, or a plant that's nearby. And look how it doesn't really use its back legs. It really just uses its front legs, legs 1 and 2, and pulls itself up. Almost as if you were climbing a rope, how you would climb a rope, using a cane. And you go back again. This is really cool. So these spiders are quite amazing. They're very common throughout South Africa. But I've never seen one this big before. It is ginormous. Look at it go. I wonder where it's obviously not feeling too comfortable. Perhaps it obviously saw us coming and thought, well, let me get out of the way before these people break my web. I can't even find it anymore. There it is. That's a bit better. Up into the marula leaf. Look at it. Look at it against a marula leaf. Now you can clearly see how large it is. Oh my goodness. And again, that amazing camouflage, which makes it very difficult to spot them if they sit flat on a branch. Oh, this is so cool. I wish it had actually stayed down so we could have watched it catch something, because the amount of insects that are around, they are plentiful, and which would probably explain as to why the spider is so big, is because it has eaten many, many, many insects in its life. Isn't that wonderful? Completely camouflaged amongst those leaves. Now they're quite interesting. Usually they start building their webs just as the sun starts to set, and then I'm just trying to pull an insect from outside of my shirt. It's nice. Sorry, Jean-Andre. Ooh, don't bite me. Not great. Let's try not break the spider web. Let's go this way. And then the first things in the morning, as the light is coming back again, they start to eat it all up, eat all that protein that's in the silk, and then they'll build another one later, which I find quite amazing. Not many spiders that do that, but the bark spiders are experts. Right, come on, chameleons. I think we need somebody to play the song for us so that we get some inspiration and some luck. So I'm feeling a bit sad now, I feel as though we've been beaten. Sorry? I should sing it for you. No, I don't think I'm going to sing any songs this evening. Maybe tomorrow morning. We shall see. You can sing it, Chandra. I'd love it if you could sing me a song. Aha. Chandra's got such a beautiful voice. You don't know the words. That's fine. You can just hum. Make your own words up. That it? It was very nice though. It was actually so beautiful. I might ask you to sing me to sleep later on this evening, or at least let me record it so that I can play it when I need to fall asleep. It was really good. If you don't know the words of this, I'll just go with it. Right, so we're going to go through this little dip and come out on the other side. Let's go to Byron for an update.
So, I haven't managed to find anything else yet. Just got quite a strong smell. It smells almost like elephant, perhaps. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can't find anything on this tree. I was hoping to find a scorpion around here. Nice dead tree next to us. A lot of holes for scorpions. But nothing, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway. And I hope all of you are having a wonderful day, or start to the day if you're in the United States, or if you're in the rest of the world, if your day is winding down, come to an end. I hope it's been a good day. I can hear some bats. I wonder if you'll be able to hear them. Let's listen if you can hear those bats quickly. It's just a very high-pitched squeak every now and then. Oh, I don't think so. I've stopped now. Happy Crocodile, you want to know how many felines live in this area? I don't know. It's difficult to say because, well, we know lion prides. Now, I actually haven't seen the Nkuhuma pride for a while. How many lions are in there again? Was it 9? See, that's a problem. When you go to so many different properties, you see different lion prides. I forget how many lions are in each pride. And I haven't seen the Nkuhumas since January. So I can't remember. I think it was 4 lionesses, 5 cubs. I think it's a 9, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember, Craig? And then, so the lions and then the... Okay, so Happy Crocodile, sorry, you want to know the exact, or the amount of species. Okay, well, felines, cat species, we have lions. Let's start from the big. Lions, leopard, and then cheetah. And then we would go down to... serval, caracal, then African wildcat at 6. Have I left one out? I don't think so. Those are the big cats, or no, those are the cat species that we get around here. There's nothing else. I'm just trying to think. No, not that I think that's it. I think six feline species or cat species in this area that we are in. If I have left one out, let me know, but I don't think I have. I see a tree has been pushed over by an elephant. It's nice and dark this evening. That moon isn't very bright at all. As you saw, just a sliver of the moon. So this is a great time to try and spot nocturnal wildlife moving around. Although the bush is so thick, so it's not very easy at the moment. Maybe we can still find a little bush baby or 2 before the end of the show. think tomorrow morning I'm going to go and have a look at that hyena den, see if there's any activity there early in the morning. Although in my experience the hyena dens usually are active when it's a little bit later. As the sun comes up, they all come out, and perhaps adults have returned back to the den after looking for food, trying to scavenge for food at night. They'll return once the sun's out, and the little cubs come out and lay out in the sun. But you never know. Also checking the trees at the moment for owls. Nancy, I'm not sure. I don't think those hyena have abandoned both den sites. I don't think so, because from my understanding, and I haven't seen those cubs, but apparently they're still very young. So it's yeah. So I don't think they do, however, change den sites. They will move from one den site to another, depending on how old those cubs are, if they're able to move. But I don't think they would have abandoned them completely and just moved on, unless those cubs get to an age where they're old enough to move away from the den, and then they will just move and sleep out in the bush. They don't return to the den. But I'm not sure how old those youngsters are at the moment. Like I said, I haven't seen them. Said to Kayla. Who's Kayla? Let's give it to Taylor. She's got.
I thought I'd just seen a chameleon, but I haven't. I'm very good at spotting leaves, exceptionally good. I should actually be on the Olympic team for leaf spotting. I can tell you right now that we'll win, hands down. Now, not having much luck with the chameleons, I'm afraid, but Jandre and I were just chatting about bark spiders, and something that we have both seen, which is really interesting, is obviously we always talk about how bark spiders take their webs down, normally at first light. I know I've seen this completely different behavior with the bark spiders in the Eastern Cape, and so has Jandre. He's seen it in the Tsitsikamma forests, and in those areas, and Eastern Cape against very much rolling hills and beautiful valleys with let's actually have a look at the moon. I'm going to switch off all the lights because that's very pretty, and I'll tell you about the spider. Just going. Do you think we'll get it? It's very, but we see that little glimmer of hope in the sky. That is the moon. How beautiful is that? Absolutely gorgeous. So we've seen these spiders with their webs out almost 24/7, and I wonder if that's just because of the cooler conditions in a forest. It's also less light with a canopy of trees, and this allows them, of course, well, to keep on catching food. And they're also quite big in the Eastern Cape. That was the big, like I said, the one we've just seen was the biggest bark spider I've ever seen. But in the Eastern Cape, they were a little bit smaller than that. And then prior to that, up here, I haven't really seen any particularly large ones. I just find that that's so amazing, that just depending from area to area, the animal behaviors can be completely different. And the more places that we go and explore, we're going to see this happen more and more often. So I thought that was quite nice. But I would have loved to have shown you a scale as to how big it actually was. Just trying to think. It must have been about that big, the body. It was absolutely massive. And then, of course, that's not including its legs. It was really big. We're just about to come towards... should we do a kingfisher in infrared? Hello, Scrub Hare. Yes. You must mind the roads. There is one. Is a kingfisher. What I'm going to do, it's just above where my spotlight is. We're going to go into infrared now. Here we go. I'm going to just guide Jandre first. It's just up there. Where is it? Go to the left a little bit. I'm wondering if you've got the same angle as I do. Oh, there we go. Up. Now, there we go. Just to the left a little bit. It's actually just hiding behind the tree. Okay, keep the camera. Let me go forward. You're going to see a little bit of a shake. I'm just going to start the car just so we can realign, of course. And we sometimes need to do this, especially when we don't have a clear view. We keep the camera on the subject and then just move slightly. But that is a woodland kingfisher that is perched in a bush willow where it will remain for most of the evening. And it's just incredible how they don't fall off, how they're able to continuously hold on to those branches and rest quite happily. Of course, that depends on the weather, because I'm sure there's many birds that fall out of trees on exceptionally windy days, especially young ones that aren't used to, well, the windy weather. Or when a tree blows over, if you don't get out in time, you might find yourself in a trouble. Cool though? The scrub hares have gone. No, the scrub hares have unfortunately left us. I was going to put them into infrared too. But let's carry on. Let's make our way towards the dam. Whoop, careful, careful. Now, here's the scrub hare that's going running in the distance, as you can see. Look at that. Oh, no. Sorry, hang on. That was me. I switched the... We're going to go back into infrared quickly to have one look at this scrub hare. Oh, my goodness. The bugs are flying around. Look at all the bugs as well. You can see them. I'm going to switch my lights off now. Isn't that incredible? You can actually see them flying around. And they're quite a large scrub hare too. How wonderful. What we're going to do now is we're going to make our way towards the dam. And we're going to send you across to Byron to see if he can pull, well, a rabbit out of the hat and find one more chameleon.
Not a rabbit out of the hat, Taylor, but termites. Have a look at this. This is fascinating. Now, all these termites are very active. Luckily, we can look at them through infrared at the moment. And look at them feeding. Not feeding, but fixing up that termite mound. They looks like the soldiers and some workers there at the moment, and they are all. But look at that! Isn't that incredible? We're quite far, but you can see how active they are. So it's a bit cooler now, so nice conditions for them. So we always wonder, when do these termites actually build and fix the actual termite mound? And here we can see it happening. And they will close their termite mound up if they have to conserve their warmth and the heat. That is incredible. That is really, really great to see. Fascinating stuff. See how active these termites are. Wow. Well, there we go. That's something very different. Not something you see every day. Termites active at night like that. That is wonderful. Yeah, this infrared really is great at the moment. It's working very, very well. Very interesting. Interesting to see. Alright, now just a few minutes left. Let's head back to Taylor quickly and see what she has found before the end of the show.
Now you might see it's quite difficult. There is a little frog sitting on the edge of a piece of grass. Now it's not great, of course, it's quite far away from the car, but you can just see it just a little bit. From here it looks like it could be a painted reed frog, or maybe that water lily frog that we found on World Frog Day. That's another possibility, but I want you to very quickly have a listen as to the beautiful sounds of the frogs this evening. Isn't that lovely? Now I think I can see another spider down here, Jeandre. Can you see where my spotlight is? I'll try and light it up. You just see something moving in the ground. So just in over there, you can see it's obviously quite bright. There you go. You can start to see a little white dot now. You're doing so well. How do you even see that? That's incredible. So that's what I'm looking at. It is a spider too. Look at that. I don't know what spider it is. It looks like it's carrying an egg sac. So possibly a nursery web or a wolf spider. One of the two. I think the nursery web spiders carry their egg sacs quite close to the front end, so towards their chelicerae, whereas but I could have this also switched around. But that's another little spider. Isn't that cool? What else do we have here? Let me quickly scan. more frogs. I'd like to find a bubbling casino, but they sort of enjoy the long grass. Let's have a quick look here. Now, for those of you who didn't hear a little bit earlier, we are having a time change. So remember, the time change is from the 1st of April. So we're going to start at 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central African time in the morning for the sunrise safari. And then for the sunset safari, it will be from 3:30 till 6:30 p.m. Central African time. Again, but this is wonderful. I'm glad we sort of followed through with our plan. We ended at Chitwa Dam, which is exactly where we wanted to be. So our route worked out absolutely perfectly this evening. But sadly, we're coming down to the final moments of the show, and we hope that you, of course, all enjoyed it. It was nice to see the lions first thing, but from all of us here, of course, at Wild Earth, from Byron, from Steph, from myself and the rest of the crew and all the ladies in Final Control, thank you for always putting up with us out here on drive when we misbehave. And thank you to all of you for all of your questions. But please join us tomorrow for the Sunrise Safari, where we'll see you there.